What's up, beautiful people? Adrienne Dione here, aka the Fundamentor, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Gold Mine Podcast. Y'all, I'm so excited for this episode because it is for my people, the introverts who are out here running businesses. Y'all, this episode, we need this. Now, if you're an extrovert, stay on because you can learn something too. But I really wanted to create something especially for my people, the introverts of the world. It's hard out here for us, y'all. In this world of, being a whole content creator. We're going to get into that in a second. Number one, if this is your first time watching an episode or listening to the podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, whether it's YouTube or Apple or Spotify. Just make sure you subscribe. And then I really want to push you guys a little further, okay? If you've been listening, if you've been enjoying, as a lot of you guys have sent me messages and say you really enjoy it, I need y'all to go and write a review. Please, can you do that for me? I really, really appreciate it. Go write it a review and let people know that you are enjoying it. And if you're listening, share it on your social media platforms. This will, again, just help me to be seen, have the episode heard, all of the things. All right. I hope you guys have been enjoying the podcast this season. It was created just for the person behind the business. And so it's kind of bittersweet because next week will be the last episode of this season. We're going to take a little break and then we'll get right back to it. But if you haven't caught up, definitely go back and watch some of the older episodes in this season. And then it's season 4. So y'all have a lot of episodes to catch up on. You'll definitely be able to hear my growth, but still really valuable content in general. So I really hope that you guys continue to support even on the break. Now let's get into this topic for today. I really wanted to create this episode because as online business owners, we're kind of forced into being content creators. Even if you aren't on an online business, if you have not just expanded to the online market, you are just leaving so much money on the table because we literally have the world at our fingertips. Now, as much as that is a great thing because we literally are able to connect with people all over the world, it is a challenge for those of us who are introverts. And this really surprises a lot of people because they'll look at me and they'll say, like, you are not an introvert. I'm definitely an introvert. I'm very shy, believe it or not. It's funny because it's like I grew up in church and singing and being in front of people all the time. And so my family, we always laugh because it's like, when did the shyness happen? Like, I really think it was because my mom was just one of those moms and she was just kind of like, get up there and sing or do whatever it is that I tell you to do. And then when I got out of that, that situation or I went off on my own, like I really went back to being who, very introverted, very shy. Y'all, I have social anxiety, all of the things. So I really kind of just trained myself to, really stretch and be out there. But I want you to know I can't relate to how you feel. But I hope that by the end of this episode, I can really help you to change your perspective around being an introvert and running a business, how that is a good thing, and then why it's important for you to really stretch out and come from behind the business. Now, y'all know I love to give practical tips on this show. So I'm not going to just leave you with why it's important. I'm also going to give you some really practical tips on how to do that, like how to execute coming out from behind your business and really stepping into your power position, really, and really capitalize on all the great opportunities that sometimes being an introvert can really take from us. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it. One thing we have to remember about the online market is that there are a lot of people selling a lot of things. And with so many options, people are really trying to figure out, especially with like service-based businesses, which one is best for me, right? And they base that on who they trust to be able to solve their problems. How do they do this? I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard of the know, like, trust factor. It is a thing because it really does affect how a consumer decides on whether they're going to purchase from you or not. That made me think about my experience in Walmart today. So I'ma just be honest. Sometimes I grocery shop from Walmart. And it really is because a lot of times I need to grocery shop, but I also need to like pick up other things. And Walmart is just kind of like a one-stop shop. I can get the stuff that I need. I can get my groceries. And I'm really basic when it comes to groceries. I eat the same thing over and over again. It's nothing fancy. So I can literally just pick up the stuff from Walmart. But the last time I was in there, they literally have like only one or two humans actually checking people out, if that. Everything is just like the robot, you know, the self-checkout. I say robot, the self-checkout, and the lines are always so long. And the last time I went grocery shopping, I vowed, I said, I am not coming back in here. I'm not getting my groceries back in from Walmart anymore because I stayed in line for like an hour. I stood in line. And today I was in there and it was the middle of the day on a Monday. And y'all, I promise you, the line was so long. And I'm like, I vowed that I was not going to come back in here and get groceries or anything. I literally had 3 items. So I only need to pick up like some protein shake and a couple other things. And me and the guy in the line were talking and he was like, I was like, I vowed that I'm not coming back in here, but yet I'm back in here again. He was like, it's because it's convenient, right? We know Walmart. I know Walmart. I like it because of the convenience. I trust it because, listen, if I don't like something, I know I can take it back. It's not going to be a big deal. But that's why I keep coming back, even against my own will at times. But I know, like, trust them. And it really affects whether it affects me passing by other grocery stores because I'm like, I don't want to have to make several stops. So let me just go to Walmart. I know I can get what I need and be out or whatever. So what does this have to do with you, right? As introverts, a lot of times we like to hide behind the business. We want as less engagement as possible. We don't want to show our faces. We don't want to share anything about our personal lives. And this is a problem, especially in today's market. Why? Because there are so many scammers. Let's just be honest. There are so many people who are faking it until they make it. I can't even tell you how many of my clients I've had. We've been talking about them outsourcing certain things, and people have a really nice Instagram, platform or profile, and they have like these testimonials on there, and it seems like they're really good at what they do, but then when it comes to them delivering on the service, they flop. And people are actually experiencing this. And so most of the time people are not going to invest in a business that they don't trust. So this is the reason that people are looking for the person behind the business, right? They want to know that if they have a question about something that you're going to answer. They want to know that they can reach out to you if they're unhappy with the product or the service, and that you're going to try to make it right because they've been able to see you in action and kind of get a glimpse of your personality. They want to know that you're a real person. They want to see the evidence that you helped other people solve, the same problem that they have. They want to be able to support people that they admire and who are like them, who are relatable to them. This is the thing that really affects someone choosing you over another company or another business who is also selling or delivering the same types of services. If you want to increase your target audience's buying chances, you have to give people in some way, form, or fashion, the comfort of knowing, liking, and trust you. Are y'all hearing what I'm putting down? Are y'all getting it? I really just gave y'all the key to a successful sales system. And I really don't even try to sell to y'all on here. Yes, I am a business coach. And that's not even like, I don't even try to promote or do a lot of that on this podcast. But I'm telling you, if you don't have this implemented in your sales system, you really do need to book a strategy session with me. Seriously, because this is usually the gap that is causing people not to get sales. So bringing it back, when it comes to content creation, this is why the type that is really high converting calls for us to show our faces. The reels, the lives, the video testimonials, they drive sales because it really does increase that know, like, trust factor. So it really is important for you to stop hiding behind the business. I know it's super uncomfortable. Trust me, I know. But there is a way to do it, and to do it well without being a full-on extrovert or pretending to be one, really, because if you're an introvert, you know, it is what it is. So let me give you some tips on how to actually execute that. The first tip is to stop thinking of being an extrovert as a liability instead of an asset. There is nothing wrong with you, and you can be successful as an entrepreneur. You do not believe me? Bill Gates, Elon Musk, both of them are literally self-proclaimed introverts. And I think that they are doing quite well for themselves. A lot of times we think that there is something wrong with it because of this misconception that being an introvert means you are, you know, really shy, or you're really quiet. And although that can be true for some people, being an introvert really means that you tend to be more introspective and gain energy from, you know, your own alone time. Introverts are really creative thinkers, which is perfect for entrepreneurship, right? So really get rid of this negative connotation. If you think of the way you are as a problem, then it will be a problem. So we have to get rid of that negative self-connotation around the amazing way that God created you to be, because it is really not a problem for entrepreneurship. The second tip that I want to give you is to use your self-discipline skill to step outside of your comfort zone in this area. We all know that being a successful entrepreneur means that you have to take business risks sometimes. So you already have this skill. Just practice the discipline of stretching your personality just like you do your business norms on a regular basis. So what does that look like? Speaking out in meetings, saying what's on your mind, even when you feel uncomfortable, challenging yourself to at least one networking event a month. You know how to stretch yourself. You know what you need to do to kind of put yourself out there. So just challenge yourself to do that, even in the area of your personality. Remember, it's very important to have a growth mindset versus that fixed mindset. And your personality is not fixed. You are a grown adult who can literally become who and however you want to be. And listen, I'm not telling y'all anything that I'm not challenging myself to. I really am an introvert, y'all. I am like mostly in my head most of the time. And I really do have like a rest and be face because of it. Like, I'm just not even thinking about nothing that's going on around me. And so I don't really come off as the friendliest person in the world. Like, I'm really nice and kind to people if they come up and talk to me, but like, that's something that I really do want to change. And so y'all, your girl has been networking, and I've been really making some really great connections. I'm very proud of myself in that area. But when I'm out, even if I'm just at the gas station or something, I'm putting forth I'm being intentional about like speaking to people and starting a conversation, because that's just not natural to me, but it really has led to some great things. So if I see something that's working, I want to multiply that, right? Multiply those results. So I'm really being intentional about being friendlier, not just when somebody comes to me, but me taking the initiative to go out and talk to other people and be kind and friendly and seek out people and be more present when I'm in places so that I can change that because, that's who I want to be. I want to be friendly. I want to be, that type of person. So challenge yourself. Think about who you want to become, who you want to be seen as, and then really challenge yourself because your personality is not fixed. It is something that you can change. The next tip is to choose what you are willing to be comfortable sharing. Like, y'all, we have to share more of who we are and what we're doing. And I know it sounds really weird or it's like, I don't want to do that. But people really do invest in people they admire or who they feel like, man, this person inspires me. I want to be like that person. I want to have that person's life. And it's weird, but that's the whole celebrity thing, right? We look and admire and we pay money to support those celebrities, whether it's their movies or their music or new products that they have, because in some way we want to be like them or we're inspired by them. And so it's the same thing when it comes to our businesses. We have to be able to create that same situation when we're trying to improve that know, like, trust factor, especially because it is a norm now. And if we have an online business, we have to play the online game. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to tell y'all this story because it's something I will never, ever forget. Miley Till is like a mentor in my head. She's like a big sister to me. I love her and I love her podcast. I don't know if I was listening to a podcast episode or one of her lives, but she was answering a question somebody had sent, like, how do you get comfortable sharing things that you have going on in your personal life? And she answered and she was like, I always find that people who ask this question really don't have a lot of things going on in their lives, because the people that I know who do have a lot of exciting things going on, they want to share that. They want other people to see it and know what's going on in their lives. And it was so funny to me, but it's so true. Like, it's like, I mean, she wasn't being shady, but you could definitely get some shade from the child, okay? But it's like really true. Like, I thought about, like, I have amazing things going on. Like, I mean, the thing for me is that I didn't want to take the time to share it or film it or whatever the case may be, because it does take time. But like, why wouldn't I want to share my trip or something that was exciting for me or a new experience that I got to have? Like, why wouldn't I want to share that? Like, why? Of course, you don't have to share everything. And of course, a lot of times we're like, I don't want to be this other person who has to show everybody everything to prove that they have a certain type of lifestyle or anything like that. I think that's more so about their motive. And just because they have that motive, they're doing it with that motive doesn't mean that if we do it, then we have that same motive. That's just not the case. So just figure out, what are you comfortable sharing about your life? You don't have to share everything, but find the areas that you don't mind sharing, like whether it's you cooking or your vacations or, your day-to-day, like what you do in a day or whatever the case may be, whatever is comfortable for you, share it. Like, list that out and just be more intentional about sharing those things, whether it's a fitness class or whatever the case may be. Figure out what you are comfortable sharing and start to share more of your personal life. It really will help you in the business scene as well. Now, the next tip sounds a bit cliche, but I'm going to break it down so you understand practically what I mean. And the tip is to focus on your strengths and then find support in the weaker areas. So, for example, maybe you say, like, I'm just not a really good public speaker. It's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, right? Well, you could either find support for yourself in that area by taking a class. You can look at someone who you admire as a public speaker and just really study them. Like, one of my favorite public speakers is my pastor. Like, I love the way he tells stories and how he breaks it down and how he just makes everything kind of come into a circle. And one of the things I've heard him a lot, but I'm not just listening to him, I'm kind of studying him and the way he does things. And he has kind of like this format or formula he does when he's speaking. And he always starts out with like a funny personal story about his family or something in his personal life. And then he transitions with this line of like, and it reminds me of, you know, in Job when another situation happened, and that's kind of how he flows. But I love how he just pulls everybody in with that personal story. It works very well for him. And he's kind of funny too, so it just works. And so I kind of like to pattern, you know, my public speaking, my speeches kind of around that same thing, because I like his style, right? So I'm getting support in the area that I'm weak in, right? Because that's not a strong suit. And again, growth mindset rather than fixed. Just because you're not a good public speaker doesn't mean that you can't be a good public speaker. So you can either attack that situation that way, or you could focus on your strengths. So maybe you're not a good public speaker, but you are a good writer, right? So maybe you, instead of trying to just enhance those skills, maybe you say like, look, I am a good writer, so my captions are going to be popping on social media or in my emails or, you know, a blog, whatever the case may be. And maybe you get really good video to, you know, really match with that. Like with Reels, takes a couple pictures where you don't have to talk or anything like that, but it draws people in. And your call to action is to read the caption where you deliver or show your personality or tell a story or do whatever it is that the public speaking would also be able to do. So really focus on your strengths and find support around your weaknesses in either two of those ways. Also, you know, maybe you say like, hey, really, I don't even want to be the face of my business and my company. I really want to be like out of the scene. Well, sis, bro, you're going to have a face for your company, for your business. So even thinking about like just hiring someone who will be the face for your company, that has worked for a lot of people. If you think about the Affleck commercial, I don't know who owns Affleck, but I know that girl. I know her anywhere, right? I mean, no, that's the duck, right? Y'all, I'm crazy. I'm talking about the girl with, is it Allstate? I don't know her name. I just know that she has like she wears a white child. Listen. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Oh, here's another good one. The insurance guy, the tall man with the deep voice that says, you're in good hands or whatever. Him. So he's the face of the company, right? You could do that with your business. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, and the last tip that I want to give for us introverts is really taking time to recharge. Introverts really need a certain amount of alone time to really inspire those creative thoughts and kind of just have the energy to be with other people. I really had to learn that about myself. It wasn't so much that I didn't like being around people or I didn't like talking to people, but I can only do it for a certain amount of time, and I have to be really recharged in order to go out and really, you know, get the most out of it. I really can get overstimulated really easily. So I have to be careful about just my environments and kind of how, you know, I arrange certain things in my day or even like the events for the month, like, cause I can really get overstimulated and go high and not come out for a while. Because you are your own boss. Listen, you literally have the right to, you know, make things work for you. Create your own schedule and really prioritize this. So what does this look like, right? Maybe you're like, sis, I tried to go live Thursday, Friday just doesn't work for me. Well, maybe you should change your live, day, or the day that engage with people at the beginning of the week. When you're refreshed, you're just come off the weekend, you've had a lot of rest, and you have more energy to engage or go live or talk to people or whatever the case may be. Just keep this in mind and arrange events around times where you've been able to rest and recharge before you go out and engage with other people. So I hope this really helped to bring into perspective why it's so important for us not to hide behind our businesses, but not only just knowing why it's important, but some ways that you can do it without being fake, okay? Because people can pick up on that too. If you are an introvert, I would love to know what ways you've been kind of navigating this in running your business. Help the rest of us out if you have some other tips that you've tried and that they worked for you. I'm excited to continue the conversation in the comments. Also, be sure to share this on your social media platforms and tell all your business besties. We want to get this message out to as many people as possible. If you're not following me on social media, make sure when you're sharing it, you tag me. I'm at The Fundamentor. All of my social links will actually be in the show notes. Be sure to check that out. Subscribe, leave a review, and I think that's it. I think that's all the things. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye.